What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. This is for Friday, and it is late. I am recording this video last minute. I am so guilty of waiting until the last minute in so many occasions to do the work. But we're getting it done nonetheless, and staying consistent. So yeah, I want to talk about taking time for yourself. Today I took no time for myself. I took no time for myself. And I'm frustrated about that. I'm angry about that. It makes my blood boil. It makes me feel like a failure. And there are some things that I'm dealing with that I want to share with you guys, and I will share with you guys very soon. So yeah, life is dynamic right now. It's exciting, and it's intense. So all of it mixed together means that there is some uncertainty. But the only certainty is uncertainty. So when it comes to taking time for yourself, something I always try to do is, no matter how small I feel for speaking up about needing that time, right? Because at least in my experience, as men, we are conditioned to believe that our role is caretaker. And I'm just speaking from my experience, of course, but conditioned to believe that we should continue to keep inside whatever we feel so that others may take essentially get what they need first. And there's many times where that's appropriate. However, it isn't realistic to think that I can somehow endure forever just simply not realizing that I need time for me. And everyone's different in that sense because everybody needs what they need specifically. There's no right and wrong when it comes to taking time for yourself. There is only what do you need to be your best. And even that question changes all the time. I know it does for me. Every day is different. Taking time for yourself is also a way to slow things down. In my experience, there is no space in between taking time for yourself and others taking your time. There's no limbo area there. I think it's a common misbelief that if you don't decide what you want to do, that you can just leave it at that and simply go on unaffected. No, I think if you don't decide what you want to do, the default is that someone will decide for you. And most of the time that ends up being just a unfavorable set of experiences. It's funny, the example that comes to mind is work, basically. Like, your boss tells you what to do. But even in an employment setting, it's totally appropriate for anybody with intention and some courage to speak up about what they need and what they want and what they intend to accomplish, and then follow through on that. But the other silent killer is when the person who decides for you is someone very close to you, someone who you love deeply, or someone who you rely on. And I think for a lot of us, that's our spouses. And it isn't always a bad thing, because for a lot of us as well, our spouses have our best interest in mind. And I know from my experience that most of the time I feel like she knows me better than I know myself, and will very often ground me with a single sentence as simple as saying something like, "It's okay. Don't feel bad for feeling that way." And she also says, "I'm sorry for for doing something that she isn't aware that she's doing." And the truth is that we all do it to each other. But I think that's kind of going another direction, like control dynamics that are not relevant to this conversation. Also, from my own experience, I know that observing other people take time for themselves is interesting, because they do not, by my observation, feel guilty about it. And I think that's really the silent killer here, because taking time for yourself it's straightforward, it's necessary. But if you feel guilty about it and you allow yourself to believe that, then you ultimately stop taking time for yourself. And I think that manifests itself in really, really negative outcomes. So, I mean, this is something I think about a lot. Taking time for myself is a constant struggle, because it's essentially being the no man. The only way that I can say yes to myself fundamentally is to say no to someone else. And being the no-man it's a necessary evil, but it does not come without its own set of uncomfortable truth. And that is just the way that we all must learn to value our own time. It's pretty easy, I think, to see how valuing your own time, and just simply by sitting for a moment in the guilt of wanting time for myself, becomes proof that I believe for some reason that I don't deserve, or I'm not deserving of, time to myself to do as I please with it, that somehow that time is better used doing something for someone else. And the truth is that at first you can get away with using that time for someone else. There's always a so-called better reason. Let me correct myself. Bigger reason, like more important reason to do something than take time for yourself. It's easy to justify that, especially if the feeling of taking time for yourself leads to all this guilt. The opposite and delayed side of giving and never taking time for yourself is that you build a resentment for the things that take your time, and that can be people. So yeah, I'll leave you with that. Hopefully, even though it's late and this might seem negative, I hope that I spun the whole circle far enough that you can see the complete thought and how you can avoid building resentment for one, but also avoid just feeling guilt for what we have been led to believe is selfish and unnecessary, because time for yourself is I'm trying to think of some clever word, but it's selfish. It's selfful. It's kind of like something they don't teach you in school. Maybe a common theme. They don't teach many super valuable things in school, but they don't teach you to value your own time. So that's it. We're gonna end it there. I'm tired. You're tired. Hopefully everybody has a fantastic Friday. And even though this is recorded in the evening, go out and enjoy the day. Have a fantastic weekend. Hit me in the comments if you have any questions. As always, it means a lot to me that you're watching these videos, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and the bell for future videos, and I will see you in the next one. GoPro, stop recording.